I said the 20-somethings are dumb. They're not dumb. It's just certain ways of the world. The reason I say that, you watch, in the not-too-distant future, hackers are going to knock out our cell phones and the internet. These 20-somethings that are come to a stop, stare at their phone, and have no idea what to do next. Because they've always had an internet connection. If we lose the internet, us old folks, we got a plan B. You 20-somethings are going to have to find a bunch of old people and ask us how to do stuff. Hey, mister, can you help me get home? I don't know how to do directions. Well, I can draw you a map, but you're going to have to listen and store the information in your head. And I'm not here to tell you life was better before cell phones. It wasn't. I love my phone. I'm addicted to that thing. You ever lose your phone? Oh, that's a panic attack. I lost my kid at the mall one time. I didn't panic like that. Because I have 2 kids. Never has technology moved so quickly as the past 20-plus years. My son was at my house a couple of years ago. He called my mom, his grandma. He turns to me, he goes, I think Grandma's phone's broken. I go, why? He goes, listen to this. I go, it's a busy signal. He'd never heard one. He goes, now what do I do? I go, hang up. He goes, how do I leave a message? I go, you don't. He goes, now what do I do? I go, well, wait a few minutes. Call her back. He goes, that's stupid. And I know it was like in your house growing up. My house growing up, my dad never answered the phone. He wasn't getting out of his big old chair. That phone rang, he'd just look at us kids. It was our job to answer the phone, right? I was telling my son that story one day. He goes, why didn't you tell your dad to get the phone? My World War II Marine dad? I tried it once. Had no idea to get out of the chair that quickly. When I woke up, that phone was inside me. Hey, Dad, why don't you get the... Here's something that kills me about technology and old people, and by old people, I'm talking about people my age. Watch us when people are taking pictures. They got the camera out. We all stop. We don't want to walk in front of it because we think we're going to ruin the film. Hey, boomer, no more film. Keep moving. These guys delete more pictures in an hour than we used to take in a year. You remember roll of 24? That thing would last you all year. You get that back, you go, look, there's Uncle Billy. He's been dead at least a year. Oh, man, I got some new Uncle Billy photos. And photos weren't unlimited. You had to keep track. Remember that little counter on the bottom of the camera told you how many were left? That's why all the Sasquatch photos are crappy. Everybody was down to their last shot. Like, oh, there he is. Click. Ah! Behind a tree. Before COVID, I worked in Singapore and Hong Kong. I worked these English-speaking comedy clubs, and I flew from Hong Kong to Singapore on Tiger. It's this cut-rate Asian airline. They cram you all close together. And I don't feel like a big man. But in Asia, I'm gigantic. I did not realize it till I was standing at the gate looking around going, oh, my, I'm the biggest guy here by a lot. So I'm 6'1", 190. 195? 200? Probably 202 this morning. Anyway, I was the biggest guy by a lot on the jet, and I had a window seat, and there was a guy in the aisle, and I said, can I sneak past you? He said, your sneaking days are over, my friend.